So are you familiar with the geography changes at all? Because I would love to screen share as I explain this because I think that that would be
Yeah, I'll
very, very helpful.
I've turned screen
Yeah.
sharing on, so we should be good.
Okay, you should have my request now.
Yeah, we're good. We're on.
Okay, you see my monitor full screen? Yeah,
Yeah,
the
we
Earth. Okay, so I don't know what other topics you guys are really into. I did glance at your channel a bit. I've seen you've had a variety of people on. Some of them I know, a lot of them I don't. I'm sure you're probably familiar with. There's probably many reasons to distrust photography and maps and things were given by the controllers. I'll at least say that. So I don't trust any. I'm not an idiot. I knew they didn't go to the moon by 2011. Broke that down. I have no trust in the space agencies or any of that. Now, however, let me make my point here. Just like I know that Bibles are reissued and there's different translations, I'm very well aware there's many projections of different maps, globes. I know sometimes they're done for the right reason, sometimes they're not. I also know that we're given tons and tons of fake images, and I have no reason to trust Google Earth. However, what I'm going to show here on Google Earth will also match exactly the globe sitting in your basement or the map on the classroom wall if you were to go back to your old schoolroom. They're all going to match it. So what that means is when I present something here, if you remember it the way it used to be and the way I remember it, well, if the Mandela Effect was just a psyop and they were messing with us, you could pull out that old global map and show us the land masses where they used to be shown. But you're not going to be able to do that. Now, I'll give you an example. If I was to ask you, gentlemen, where South America is located in relation to North America, and I know it sounds like a ridiculous question, what would you say?
South. Below it.
just below. I
Okay.
remember it being below, but slightly to the right, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. Be just as descriptive as you can. And that's what I remember. I remember South America being below America, North America, and slightly to the right. Almost lined up, but just a little bit off. Like I wouldn't say perfectly under, but a little bit. What direction does the Panama Canal run? The water.
Is it not a diagonal line?
It is sort of diagonal now. Now I remember it differently, and I'll show you in a minute. And I'm going to ask you one more question, and then we're going to go to the map.
This is hard for me because my desk map is a map, and when I'm in calls and stuff, I'm looking at it, so I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this one you might not have caught your eye yet though, because it's a little unless you look for it. If I were to ask you, you're not looking at a map right now, right?
I'm not looking below now.
Okay. So if I were to ask you and anybody watching this later on, describe the size and location of the island of Cuba in relation to Florida. Now I know you guys aren't from the States, so it might be a little different for you over there, but what would you describe Cuba as, like compared to Florida? Where is it and what's its size?
Um, is it not? So Florida like sort of sticks out the bottom a little bit. Is it not?
Mhm.
It was like
Yeah, like a little bit further up, but quite a few miles out.
And how big would you say it is compared to Florida?
Tiny compared to Florida.
Tiny. Yeah, I would say tiny too. Now check this out. Ready? So now, in this current reality, look where South America is compared to North America. South America has completely shifted to the right. I mean, it's like 1,500 miles out of position.
Yeah, that's not how I remember it.
yeah, that's not how I remember it now.
The west coast of it is barely even lined up with the east coast of the U.S. It used to be over here, and because and so again, if anybody watching this, if you remember South America way more to the left, as we all on this panel do, but you think the Mandela Effect is a psyop, all you got to do is pull out your old globe, and then you should be able to show us, hey, look, here's South America where it used to be. They changed the maps and globes, but nobody can do that because every map in the globe in the world has changed. Now, on top of that, the tiny island of Cuba, this is what blows my mind too. Cuba used to be like a little island right here. Cuba is this whole thing now, and it's no longer just east of Florida, it's west of Florida, and it's blocking off this portion of the Gulf of Mexico, which it never did. So this is what really blew my mind about the Mandela Effect. Once I saw that this was happening, And I already understood that maps and all that are fake, but again, check any old map or globe and you're going to see this. This blew some of my family's mind too. We had a Thanksgiving in 2017, and it's interesting because none of these Mandela effects are insignificant. So there's one with a character from Pokemon called Pikachu, and many people remember Pikachu having a dark tip on his yellow tail. Now his tail has always been all yellow. It's been Mandela affected. He's never had a dark tip on his tail. So this is really big for some of the younger generation. I get to my family's house, seen a little cousin of mine that I hadn't seen in probably 6 years. I walk in the door. First thing he says to me when I walk in the door, I know about Pikachu's tail. I said, oh, really? Right? So then we started talking with the whole family, and then my cousin says, tell him about Ed McMahon, which we'll describe in a minute. And it all got the conversation going, and then I started talking about geography. And my cousin is like, so you're telling me if we go and get the globe out of the basement right now, these changes are going to be on there? I said, go get that globe. And they did. And of course, every change was on there. Just like every change I'll talk about will be in everybody's Bibles. So that's what really grabbed my attention. Then I realized, like, this is like the biggest thing ever. The land masses of the earth are in the wrong place. Commercial airliners are completely different now. All sorts of crazy things in this reality.
Yeah, that Cuba one's definitely weird because it was a lot smaller. And then it looks like it's doing the opposite effects of what they said climate change was going to do.
Well, speaking of climate change, that's interesting because they used to tell you that the ice caps were going to melt because of climate change. And if you look at any globe now, the white ice cap that used to be on the top, it's not there. It's gone. Even if you have one in your house, you could go look right now. There'll be no ice cap. Cuba will be this huge island. South America will be way over here. Do you guys happen to have one in your house? I'm serious. Like, you should check it because it's gonna show exactly what I showed on the screen. Same thing as if you guys have a Bible, get it out there in the stream because I'm gonna blow some minds, man. It's well, you guys aren't that familiar with it, but for people that are that watch this later, this is crazy. Have you seen the changes to do with the commercial airliners?
No, I've not heard of them. The ones I've heard of is obviously the Mandela one, the Monopoly Man, Pikachu one. I've heard of the book that you mentioned, and a couple others. Oh yeah, obviously the Snow White one's quite a big one.
Oh, this is going to be good then. So I want you to picture a commercial airliner, like if you went to catch a flight, 5-hour flight, you're going to get on a jet at the airport, right? And again, it's going to sound like a dumb question, but like, where would you say the engines are located in relation to the wings?
The engine's not below the wings.
Below the wings.
Oh, yeah. Like what do you? So like right under them,
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you've
you
got like
mean-
the wings sticking out, and then you've got an engine like below like that.
Okay, perfect. And I agree. And this is what I remember too. And I'm going to guess anybody that watches this video will as well. I'm going to get a screen share again. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is residual evidence. So this is not claimed to be a photograph. This is from a video game for PlayStation called Just Cause. I think it might be Just Cause 2, one of the sequels for it. So yeah, so this is a, obviously a rendition. It's not a real photograph. A graphic designer that makes video games made this. So again, with the Mandela effect, let me also reiterate, like when one of these things changes in this reality, like say we talked about a Mandela effect, Berenstein Bears changed to Berenstain, right? Let's say I had a photograph though of that Berenstein book before it changed to Stain. The photograph's going to change with reality. So is any video. It's not going to remain. So I can't show you a photograph of what I'm about to explain to you. But looking at this video game design right here, is that basically what you remember for the location of the engines?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Spot on.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, me too. So we'll just look at a couple more. Again, this is residue. This is the stuff the articles don't talk about on the Mandela effect. This is exactly how I remember them. This is going to blow your mind if you've never seen this. Now I'm going to show you what a commercial airliner looks like now. And again, you could go back 30, 40 years, your whole lifespan. You could go and if you had photographs of yourself at any airport in your life and there's these jets behind you, this is what you're going to see. Hang on. Let me get this up. This is just so mind-blowing to me. Look at the location of the engines now. And I know people that might watch this are going to say, oh, this is BS. Go ahead and look yourselves, people. Go to the airport and look at the history of these planes. And other than one, exception, this one Boeing 737 model exception. All of them are like this. All the 747s I grew up with, 757s, 777s, they all look like this with the engine way out on the front, dude. It's like hanging on by a bracket. I know this isn't a very high resolution photo, but anybody can bring them up online or go to the airport and look. It doesn't even look structurally sound. And that's all the commercial airliners in the world look like that.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like it's supposed to be that way.
No.
So what?
This is blowing
That's
my mind.
weird. This is weird.
You see, this isn't just about, movies and music. This is the type of stuff where it gets really deep. And we're not there yet, but even the human anatomy has changed. As we live our lives, our organs have moved and all sorts of things. I mean, it's absolutely mind-blowing. But there's also, I do like to talk about some of the more common ones, like you brought up the Monopoly Man. And where are you guys? Are you guys in the UK?
Yeah, UK.
Yeah.
England.
So that's perfect. And I've done much content with people in the UK, many people in my community. I've had co-hosts from the UK and other countries, New Zealand and whatnot. And, the Monopoly Man one is great because, so many of us, I dare I say, probably hundreds of millions of people around the world remember the Monopoly Man having a monocle, and now he's never had a monocle. And one of the biggest slaps in the face that they try and say is, "Oh, you're just mixing him up with the Planters Peanut Guy." And so many of my friends in the UK are like, "Listen, I don't even know who the hell the Planters Peanut Guy is, but we know what Monopoly is,